Space Shuttle Endeavour twice. Introducing NASA astronaut Bob Behnken.
My career at NASA has kind of spanned a couple of decades at this point. I arrived with the class of 2000, went through the training program, primarily focused on the Space Shuttle and the International Space Station, learning those systems. Having launched a couple times on vehicles, you know, the second time was definitely different than the first time. You can feel a little bit guilty of, hey, should I study one more thing, or is there one more piece of information I should get? Am I really prepared or not? So that's definitely different between where I was on my first flight and where I'm at right now. It's been really interesting, I think, for both my wife and I to have gone through the process of seeing each other launch in space. I've seen her take that risk and had it be in front of her, and I've done that to her. And there's just something different about watching a rocket launch when there are people on board. You feel a little bit differently about the pit of your stomach, and I can only tell you it's multiplied significantly when it's somebody that you know, and then somebody, of course, that's a family member. It's even multiplied more.
For me personally, as a spouse, watching everything that Bob has put into this over the last 5 years, the dedication that he's shown, the perseverance is pretty special. For both of us, though, the way our minds work, it won't be until sort of the mission is complete that you have really a chance to savor it and celebrate it. This is a huge accomplishment for an Air Force flight test engineer to be part of the demonstration mission of a brand new vehicle. It's going to be amazing.
Without a partner that has that same appreciation, I think it can be challenging. There's a lot of work and a lot of time that takes away from family that that my spouse appreciates, and I love her for that. Really, my role on the Demo 2 mission is to make sure that we get this vehicle tested and evaluated so that we can move on to more operational missions at the International Space Station. We've got a lot of objectives on board the vehicle that we need to accomplish to really make sure that it's good to go. We'll make sure all those systems are working during the test flight so that the future missions will have them available even if they don't plan to utilize them. Through years of the NASA team helping to share that experience and teaching them the lessons that we've learned by going through this, now there's another capability in the U.S. besides NASA to operate something of this magnitude. When is the last time humans launched on a new vehicle? Certainly on the American side, it's been several decades. Now we're in a time when we've got multiple vehicles under development. It's a great time from a space exploration time frame just to see all that happening, and it's because of this nurturing of the environment, being able to pull in a wider group of people who can contribute towards human spaceflight. It's a super cool time. On a deeply personal level, I'm really excited that my son is going to get a chance to see me launch into space. Being an astronaut has been a little bit of an abstraction thing for him because he's seen me do it in old videos, but he hasn't seen me do it for real. And so I'm excited for him to see this launch. I want to thank the entire Commercial Crew Program team that's worked together to get to this point where we've got vehicles in the launch pad ready to head to the International Space Station.
And we're back live in the room now with Bob Behnken on the left of your screen, Doug Hurley to the right. This is such a cool site here, Leland. This must bring back a lot of memories for you.
Maria, it really does. I mean, looking at these new suits and these new seats, it's a little different than what I experienced 11 years ago, but it's all the same. The suit techs, the people around you that have been with you, getting you ready for this mission. It's just an amazing moment, and they're getting excited. You can see, these military guys don't really get that excited. They don't show their excitement like civilians do, but it's a moment of history, and we're getting ready for this momentous occasion.
Yeah, and it was pretty cool. We heard that earlier this morning they stepped outside with a cup of coffee in hand. Oh, we've got some visitors in the room now. It looks like SpaceX founder Elon Musk to the right of your screen, and NASA Administrator Jim Bridenstine. Of course, you see a partition there to keep them a safe distance from the crew, but they're in there to say hello, wish them well before they depart the suit-up room. That's really cool to see there, and we can't hear what they're saying, but I'd love to be a fly on the wall in there right now.
Lauren, I wonder what Elon is saying.
Oh, just probably telling them how honored he is to be able to give them a ride today.
And I know the NASA Administrator, he talked about this yesterday. I mean, he's met with the crew before today. Even and said, I've told Bob and Doug, it's not too late to call this off. If you have any second thoughts, and of course they had none. They're super pumped about this, ready to go, and right now it's just, we just need the weather to cooperate.
Yeah, I try to think who could potentially be more excited than the SpaceXers. Bob and Doug.
Yeah, right?
And, It's amazing how we have commercial and government working together to see send these two NASA astronauts to space safely. It's just it's a great combination of what we can do when we put our minds to things and be creative and innovative and work together as one community.
I totally agree, Leland. And, I see Bob and Doug walking around our headquarters in Hawthorne all the time. They're basically family members. They're in the cafeteria. They're getting a drink from the soda machine. Every now and then. And there are times when the teams can have breakfast with them, which is really cool. And we call them the dad.
They are dads. It's
they
fitting.
are, and they're incredible human beings. They really are. They're brilliant. They're sharp. They are excellent to work with, but they're just great people.
Yeah, no, I'm really inspired and honored to have known these two guys, and I can't wait to see them launch in space. And I was with you, Lauren, out at SpaceX when we were doing a little tour, and I think you kind of got a chance to see them working and training. But when they came back out, I was having lunch, and everyone around was just like, hey, these are our team also.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
It's really amazing. And Lauren, you said, I mean, they are just two of the most humble people. Too. I mean, an interview, they're getting asked questions about themselves, right? Because they're the stars of the show. They're the ones getting on the rocket, but they always bring it back or two. But if you're not looking for something wrong, you're not doing it right. So the teams, even now, they're always looking for any little thing that could go wrong to make sure that Bob and Doug are safe when they strap in and get going.
Absolutely. Around the office, we don't just say, oh, we're launching a rocket, we're launching Dragon. We say, we're launching Bob and Doug. And that human element of this is essentially leveling SpaceX up in a major way today.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, all the technology, all the hardware means nothing if it's all about the people.
Absolutely. And, we see just a handful of folks in the room, and we've acknowledged the distance that Mr. Musk and Mr. Bridenstine are standing from the astronauts. And of course, they have masks on. This wouldn't really look that much different, though, even if we were not in the midst of a pandemic. I mean, Leland, you know very well what it's like to live in quarantine, getting ready for a mission. And so this coronavirus situation has just kind of underscored the importance of quarantine and keeping the astronauts protected. But can you speak a little bit about what it's like to live in quarantine, getting ready for a mission?
Yeah, we started in quarantine about a week before we come down to the Cape to get ready for launch. And I think that everyone around you that comes to the crew dinners, they have to get checked by the doctors. And so we really make this a very serious thing, even without a pandemic going on. But I think once we get down here, like we have these crew parties for our families, and we can't go to the parties, we have to FaceTime into the parties, but that's a very serious thing, and we only see our spouses at the beach house and have a dinner and celebrate this momentous moment. But it's a very serious thing.